What is going on, guys? Josiah LaRue here, and today we're going to be talking about the latest news from Apple. So let's go. So yeah, today I want to talk about some of the latest news from Apple. Now, Apple just had their spring release press conference where they talked about some of the latest things that they're going to be releasing for early 2016. And let's go over what that was. So first of all, probably one of the biggest things and stars of the show was the new iPhone SE. Now, a lot of this stuff had already been rumored and turned out to be very accurate and correct, but Apple came out and filled in the details of what all they're offering and the price. So the iPhone SE is basically a replacement for the iPhone 5S and 5C. However, it packs pretty much all the performance punch of the iPhone 6S. So basically, Apple realized that they were losing some customers on the size. People want the smaller iPhone, but weren't upgrading because they still liked the form factor, but still wanted the new features. So basically, the iPhone SE has everything the iPhone 6S has minus 3D Touch. So in the same 4-inch screen body as the iPhone 5S, you have the same A9 processor, M9 processor, and GPU power that you have in the iPhone 6S in this smaller device. They also added an NFC radio for Apple Pay as well as 3D Touch, so you can quickly unlock your phone with your thumbprint as well as use that to pay for things. Now, this phone comes in at two prices, $349.99 for the 16 gig version or $499 for the 64 gig version. There are no other models, 16 or 64 gigs. Which is a nice storage bump for only $150 more, but Apple, why are you not just starting your stuff out at 32? That's been my complaint. They're still sticking with cheaper phones and sticking them with very small amounts of storage, and with Apple never being able to upgrade. But they have been able to compensate with things like iCloud, bumping most of your stuff up to the cloud and only restoring it when you need it. So with everything being streaming, phones are needing less and less storage overall. However, if you are doing stuff like daily vlogging or recording a lot of content to your phone, you're probably going to want the 64 gig model. So, if you're looking for a reason to upgrade and still want that smaller phone without having to get a bigger one, the iPhone SE might be the one for you. All of the power of the new iPhone 6S without the bigger size. The next thing Apple released was the new iPad Pro. Yes, this is basically an iPad Air 3, but not really. It's actually a step-down version of the iPad Pro released last fall. So they basically scaled it down to a 9.7-inch device. Now, it doesn't have the 2.4 bazillion megapixels that the other one does, but it is higher than Retina, and it has something that's called True Tone. Now, True Tone is an interesting trickery of software and hardware. Basically, it measures the ambient light coming in, and not only does it automatically adjust brightness, but it also adjusts warmth. So if you have fluorescent lights coming down, it'll adjust it so that the text stands out very clearly, even if you may have a little bit of washoutness from the lights. But if you're out in the sun, it'll quickly change that contrast ratio so it's a lot sharper. So wherever you are and the light changing, it'll automatically adjust that so you always have true tone or true color. This is very important because the iPad Pros are sold to be professional content creating devices. So if you're editing videos or pictures or whatever on this thing, you want it to be true tone. You want it to be very accurate and precise in its color depth and ratio. A few other things that the iPad Pro had, it does have the A9X processor, the same one as its bigger brother, but it did get a better camera. It basically uses the same camera as the iPhone 6S, so it's able to shoot in 4K, 12 megapixels. The front does the same flash thing as the iPhone 6S, where it basically brightens up the screen really quickly and throws up true Retina color for you to have basically front-facing flash. And so you can shoot 4K video, you can do live previews, live photos, everything pretty much that the iPhone 6S could do on this new iPad, which is really cool. The iPad's no longer limited to have lesser cameras than its iPhone brothers. Basically, your iPad can now do the same thing, which is really important because the iPad Pro is designed to be content creating. So you're able to shoot in 4K and edit in 4K right on this device. Now, of course, what's an iPad Pro without its accessories? $150 will buy you the new iPad Smart Keyboard, which is basically a shrunk down version of also, again, its bigger brother. Basically, they just shortened all the keys a little bit, but it's the same full keyboard. And, you know, it's basically the same scissor keys designed as typing on the newer MacBook. So it's a different feel to it, but they're still very accurate and very precise. You also have the Apple Pencil, that lightning charging stylus device that's pretty cool. So the new iPad Pro is basically a scaled down but also somewhat better equipped version of the 12-inch iPad Pro, its bigger brother. Now it's going to come in 3 different storage configurations, 32, 128, and 256 gigs. However, those will cost you a little bit of a pretty penny. 32 gig is going to cost you $730, the 128 gig is going to cost you $880, and the 256 gig is going to cost you a whopping $1,030. Now those are just Wi-Fi models. You're going to be expecting to be paying about an extra $100 for each model if you want to get a 3G connection with those. Now it does come in the now standard 4 different colors that Apple provides: gold, silver, space gray, and rose gold. So whatever color you want your new iPad, they have it for you, as long as it's one of those 4 colors. Now the device will be available for pre-order on March 24th, so coming up in just a couple days, and should start shipping by the end of the month, about 1 week later. So if you want your hands on the new iPad Pro, check out Apple's store and be ready for that pre-launch. Now, while those 2 hardware devices were the main things, Apple did release a couple other things. They released new bands for their Apple Watch. Those are going to be nylon bands in a couple different colors and styles, and those are about $50 a piece, now making them the cheapest bands that you can get for your Apple Watch. So if you're looking for extra accessories to bling it out, that's nice. Also, they dropped the price of the sports model of the watch to $299, so they dropped it by about $50 so you can more cheaply get into an Apple Watch. They also released some software versions, iOS 9.3, which I've been using for a while as a public beta. The biggest thing out of that is night mode, where basically as night progresses, it starts turning your screen a little bit of a warmer, fuzzier color, so you don't have that sharp whitish blue light that a screen will normally emit during the daytime. So as you go to sleep or go into dark times in the night, it's less glaring and less strong on your eyes, and it hurts you less. They also added fingerprint protection for Notes, which is really cool because I've been using Notes for journaling and other personal things, or when I want to make work notes or whatever that I don't want publicly available. Not only do you have to unlock my phone, you also have to use the same fingerprint to unlock my Notes, so that's pretty cool. They also released a small update to Apple Watch, where you can now sync your Apple Watch with multiple iPhones, as well as being able to tweak it in several different ways. They also updated Apple TV, so that you can use Siri in many different ways to order pizza through Get Food or whatever. You can also use it to search throughout the system, whether that's searching for apps or entering usernames or passwords even. You can also create folders for your apps. So Apple TV got a lot stronger and a lot better through these updates. So those are the main things: iPhone SE and the new iPad Pro, along with some tweaks to Apple's lineup and adding a few different software features, mainly the big release of iOS 9.3 officially. So that's been my coverage. The iPhone SE does not necessarily attract me. I like the bigger size of the iPhone 6 or 6S. Not quite a big 6S Plus guy, just because I don't like that huge phone, but the regular 6, the mid, I guess is now mid-tier phone in size, is what really attracts me. I mean, it's a bigger screen, but it's not huge. I can still fit it in my pocket, but it still has plenty of content space for me. But for those of you who like a smaller display size and don't want to have some huge monster in your hand, the new iPhone SE, I believe, is going to be very attractive to people who don't want a huge phone. Or, you know, if this is your first smartphone and you're just trying to get into iOS, this may be a phone for you because it has all the features of the high-class flagship phones, but not in a huge size. The only thing you're really missing is 3D Touch, but that still has yet to be fully baked into iOS anyways, and developers are just starting that, so you're not really missing out on much by getting the iPhone SE. The iPad Pro, good. I'll still probably get an iPad Air 2 over a Pro. I don't need to spend more money just to get the Pro features of that, but it's still cool to see that Apple isn't forgetting people wanting a smaller device but still having the full-size features and power that the bigger brother has. So not only can you get the full-size tablet to compete with basically the Surface, but you can also get the regular 9-inch iPad, so you can have all the power of the big boy in a smaller device. So well done, Apple, for continuing to do that, and also for developing the software in iOS 9.3. Night mode is really cool. So yeah, guys, that's been my review of the Apple event. Nothing really ground shaking or anything. Apple did also talk about their security and privacy that they've been ongoing in the lawsuit against the FBI, as well as trying to be environmentally friendly in any different ways. So it's cool to see that Apple's continuing to push forward and be current in events as well. Nothing groundbreaking. We pretty much knew what was going to be happening going in. Apple just released details, like I said. So cool stuff, but I'm really excited for WWDC when we come out with a new iPhone as well as possibly new Macs or whatever. That's going to be where the really important stuff is going to be coming for this year. As always, guys, let me know in the comment box down below, what did you think about the Apple event? Are you excited for the new iPad Pro or the iPhone SE or possibly the new bands for the smartwatch or iOS 9.3? Like I said, I've been using 9.3 for a while. It's a really great operating system. Probably not going to get an iPhone SE or the iPad Pro. Probably an iPad Air 2 because the price dropped a little bit on that. But for those of you who want a smaller iPhone or a more powerful iPad, these products are definitely worth something checking out. So let me know what you think in the comment box down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Remember, you can check out the last episode right here and what I talked about right here. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Check me out on social media so you can see what I'm doing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!